بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب إله العالمين بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Distinguished guests, dear brothers and sisters, dear viewers at home, and especially the children at home. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of Verses of Love, the mini Husaini edition. Now, this show is dedicated to parents for them to benefit from the recitations and the lectures and the poetry of the young adults, for them to be inspired to get their children involved in this service. But it's also a show dedicated to the children who are watching, inshallah, for them to say, well, if this 13-year-old, or if this 8-year-old, or if this 10-year-old is able to serve Imam al-Hussein in this way, be it poetry or recitations or giving a lecture, then I want to also follow in that footsteps. You're able to learn a lot about the personalities associated with Karbala, and today we are commemorating and remembering a wonderful woman who wasn't actually present in Karbala but had a significant impact on what happened in Karbala, and this woman is Baneen. Now, technically, the definition, especially the young children, when they ask, what does Baneen actually mean? Baneen means the mother of sons. Yeah, so the mother of sons. I don't mean the sunshine sons, I mean the mother of boys or the mother of men, the mother who gave birth to 4 children. So Baneen is someone that we are commemorating today, and here to give us a bit of insight into her life, and insight into why she was special is Hussein Teft. Assalamu alaikum, Hussein. And someone who will be giving us words of poetry by putting words together to describe this amazing woman is Sayhan Jetta. Assalamu alaikum, Sayhan. And a first for Verses of Love mini Hussein edition is Muhammad Ummul, Muhammad Ala Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum, Mullah. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. How do you feel about this setup and how it's going so far?
Excited.
Excited? Okay, very good. I've personally heard Mullah Muhammad recite in different programs. He's personally recited in my own home for different occasions. If you remember, you were in my house. Sha'ban
and when Fatima Zahra died.
Fantastic. So for Fatimiyya and for Sha'ban, he's read in my house. Although he seems quite shy at the moment, maybe because of the cameras and the lights, but trust me, when he is in full flow recitation, his voice is quite powerful. And I'm looking forward to hearing more of your recitations, inshallah, soon. In every episode, as you know, our ever-present 2 members is Sayhan and Hussein. As you know, in every single episode, I ask you some important questions. Now, Baneen is obviously a woman, and we have many women in our lives, be it our sisters, or be it our mothers, or daughters, or grandmothers. So I wanted to ask, and I'll start with Hussein. Looking at the women in your family, how do they serve Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? Because obviously, you know, men have different roles, and women have different roles. But I'd love to know, from what you've seen and what you've grown up with, how do women in your family serve Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam?
Personally, like, I know the women in my family, they would make majalis and help other people in their majalis. And sometimes they make, especially Wafat al-Ruqayya, they make a big majlis. And yeah.
There's actually an organization, I think it's, what's it called? Hayat al-Ruqayya. So there, you've seen them and you've grown up with your mother and my 2 sisters, right? And they arrange and organize the majalis.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is both happy and the sad occasions?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you help with them?
Help basically, like, for happy occasions, like normally we do with Harak al-Husainiyya.
Yeah.
So normally when we buy like the sweets, I would go help my mum and go buy the sweets.
Okay.
While she's organizing and helping organizing the majlis.
Fantastic. Well, look, Sayhan, I'd love to know, you haven't actually grown up in London, UK, all right? So tell us about how it was like, I think it was in France where you grew up?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us how it was like looking at the women in your family serving Imam Hussein, but in a different country.
Well, actually, I can't quite remember, but I know that here, so my mother, she sometimes like cooks things for the niyaz sometimes.
Okay. All right, fantastic. And you've seen that growing up. Great. Well, Muhammad, I wanted to also ask.
So I see my big sister and my small sister reading shi'ars.
So they read poetry as well. Yeah. And I think you said to me before that your mother is a reciter. So my mother is a reciter as well. Do your sisters also recite?
Yeah, sometimes.
So me and you are very, very alike because your sisters and your mother recite, and my sisters and my mother recite. So do you attend? Do you go to the majlis when they're reciting? Okay. And do you? Is that where you get the love for recitation from? Okay, fantastic. Well, look, thank you so much for that, guys. I think, Hussein, we have a very important discussion today, and I think there's a specific ayah from the Quran that you want to start off this discussion about Baneen. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله في كتاب الكريم في سورة التحريم آية 11 وضرب الله مثلا للذين آمنوا امرأة فرعون إذ قالت رب ابني لي عندك بيتا في الجنة ونجني من فرعون وعمله ونجني من القوم الظالمين صدق الله العلي العظيم. This ayah is a narration from the wife of Fir'aun, Asya alayhi salam, which she said on her deathbed, which states, "My Lord, build me a house in paradise near you. Deliver me from Pharaoh and his evil doing, and save me from the wrongdoing people." Asya alayhi salam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to build a home in paradise. And of course, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did do that. But not only did he build a home, he also gave her one of the titles of being one of the ladies of paradise. But why? Because the love she had to the Prophet at her time, Prophet Musa, as if it wasn't for her, Prophet Musa alayhi salam would not be alive. And the devotion she had to Allah. Ummul, who is Ummul? Why does this lady have the title Ummul? Ummul real name is Fatima bint Huzam al-Kilabiyya, but she is named Ummul. Fatima bint Huzam al-Kilabiyya is the wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But how did she become the wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen? We normally think, but wasn't he married to Fatima al-Zahra? We go after the death of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, where Imam Ali alayhi salam sent his brother Aqil, telling him he wants to get married. But why did he really choose Muslim? Why did he choose Aqil? Aqil was his brother, but Aqil was smart. He knew that man, he knew his father's man, and he knew his father's father's man, and he knew his tribe's personality. For example, Bani Hashim, his personality, his tribe, was their bravery and courage. He then did not stutter and said, "I advise you to marry a lady from the tribe of Bani Kelb." He then said, okay. He then went to Huzam's house, and it was at that time, it was tradition that the Arabs would treat their guests for 3 days and 3 nights without asking why are they there. So Aqil was treated like a guest for 3 days and 3 nights, and when the time was finished, Huzam asked him, "Why are you here?" He said, "I Amir al-Mu'mineen want your daughter's hand in marriage." See, at that time, Imam Ali did not have control over Arabia. So he said, "Qa'id al-Ghurr al-Muhajjalin, Amir al-Mu'mineen wants my daughter's hand in marriage." Now we go back a few years, and Huzam was in a journey. He had a dream that he was in a field and he saw a beautiful ruby in his hand. He was not thinking, "Wow, I'm going to be so rich when I sell this ruby." No, he was contemplating the beauty of this ruby. And until he saw a man, the man came, he gave him the salam, he replied the salam. The man said, "Will you give me this gem?" Huzam said, "Why should I give you this gem? Do you know the value?" The man said, "No, but I know someone who knows the value of this gem." Huzam then said, "If I give you this gem, will you be the connection between me and this man?" The man said yes, and he gave him this gem. And a few years later, we would understand that that man is Aqil, And the man who knows the honor and status is Ali ibn Abi Talib. And this gem is Fatima bint Huzam al-Kilabiyya. When Aqil asked for his daughter's hand in marriage, he said, okay, let me go ask my daughter. He went, but it was narrated that before he went into his daughter's room, he heard his daughter was lying on her mother's lap and she was brushing her hair. And she said, oh mother, I had a dream that I was sitting in a field admiring Allah's creation, the moon. And the more I looked deeper into this moon, I saw the moon descended into my lap and 3 stars after it. Her mother said, oh Fatima, you're going to give birth to a beautiful boy with the beauty of the moon and to the other boy with the beauty of the stars. After this, her father came and told her that Amir al-Mu'mineen wants her hand in marriage.
Fantastic points, really, really good. It's very, very good that we understand the backstory behind Banin, because especially the children at home, when they're commemorating Banin, the only thing that they kind of know about her is when Bishop ibn Hadlam, and I think you're going to mention it later on, he comes to Medina and he tells everyone, oh look, Imam Hussein has died, and Banin comes to him and says, tell me about Imam al-Hussein. That's kind of what we really know about that story about Asiya. And the link between that and Banin was really good. So before we get on to the next stage, I think, Seyhan, I'd love to hear from you in terms of the poetry about Banin alayhi salam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Banin, mother of sons, wife of Ali, she went through so many a calamity. 4 sons, Abbas, Uthman, Jafar and Abdullah, the pillars of Hussein in Karbala. Where did Abbas find all his strength and bravery? He inherited them from this luminous lady. Her name is Fatima from Bani Kilabiyya. The warriors from this tribe made its reputation. Their bravery was seen in every action. Imam Ali wanted a wife from a tribe full of bravery, and this is exactly where he found this very pious lady. But as she settled into the family of Asadullah, the lady realized she could not be called Fatima. It would remind the poor children of their dear mother, whose memory made them suffer. It was decided she would be called Banin, mother of sons, a well-chosen name, because she gave birth to 4 fierce lions. She taught her sons to be the servants of Hussein, their brother. But wait, no, she always taught them to call him their master.
SubhanAllah.
Through her sons, shunned her piety, because her education was exemplary. For her, having sons was in vain, if they did not protect Hussein. When the news of Ashura came, she did not even think of one of her son's name. On her tongue, there was only one word, which drove her insane. Only one word echoed in her mind: Hussein, Hussein, Hussein. She was also a gifted poem writer. For Hussein's tragedy, she was the first narrator. صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Ahsant. I didn't know, actually, it's a very good link towards the end, where you say that Banin was the first narrator. She was, actually, which is a very good point. So thank you for that, Seyhan. Before we go on to Ummul, I just want to get on to the kind of the final part before we go on to the Na'i. So tell us about I believe the relationship between Imam Ali now is
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Bismillah.
Baneen, as narrations mention, that they are no braver men than her fathers. But why did Imam Ali alayhi salam wanted to marry a brave woman? Did he not need it? But no. Yet alone, Imam Ali is the bravest of them all, but he needed a woman from a brave family so she can give birth to a brave boy. And as we know, that is Abil Fadl al-Abbas. We come to the wedding day of Ummul. She stays at the door, not entering. Imam Ali tells her, "Oh Fatima, what's wrong?" He says, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, do not call me Fatima, as I do not want the hearts of the children of Fatima to Zahra to break."
Absolutely.
From her wedding day, she has shown incredible respect to the grandchildren of Rasulullah and the children of Fatima Zahra alayhim salam. As Shi'as, Allah has bestowed upon us a great mercy, and that is Baneen, as she is our Bab al-Hawa'id. Whenever we are on travel, we would always recite a Fatiha in her name, so we go there safely. For example, me, before going to school, I would recite a Fatiha so I can have a good and safe day. Why is it Baneen? Why is it not Imam Ali's other wives? Why is it that Baneen is the secret to Allah's secrets? That's one thing we cannot fathom. Is it because she is the master? Is it because she is the mother of the martyrs? Is it because she is the wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Or is it because she is the mother of al-Abbas? But there is another reason. It is because the same way how Asiya had love to the Prophet of her time, she had so much love to the Imam of her time. And if we want to come talk about someone and we want to emphasize about true Azar, you can't come without talking about Baneen. When you talk about Azar, the one word you realize is Baneen. As who else did she start mourning with Sayyidah Zainab? As Sayyidah Zainab said to her servant, "Do not let anyone enter." But Baneen comes knocking on the door. Sayyidah Zainab says, "My mistress does not allow me to allow anyone to enter." She then said to her servant that I would like to join your mistress in grieving. She went back to Sayyidah Zainab and told her that there is a lady wanting to grieve with you. She said, "That is the mother of martyrs, allow her in." When she came, what did Baneen say? Do you think she said, "Wa Abbasa"? She said, "Wa Husaina." And Sayyidah Zainab replied, "Wa Abbasa." The Rachis mentioned that when Bishr came, he says, "Ya ahla Yathrib, la muqamu lakum biha. Qad qutila al-Husayn fadmu'i." Oh, people of Yathrib, there is no place for you anymore. Imam al-Hussein has been martyred. Baneen comes and she says, "Oh Bishr, what happened to Hussein?" He says, "Oh Baneen, I give you my condolences to your son Uthman." She says, "Oh Bishr, tell me what happened to my son Hussein." He says, "Oh Baneen, I give you your condolences to your son Ja'far." She said, Oh Bishr, do not tell me about my sons. Tell me about Hussein." He tells him about all her sons until he lands on Imam al-Hussein. It was at that moment that she drops the son of Abil Fadl al-Abbas in grieving for her master Imam Hussein. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ahsant Hussein, thank you so much for that insightful lecture. Mullah Muhammad, I believe you have a latmiya for Baneen, inshallah. So if you can get it ready, we can start. If you do a salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عندي حاجة وكلفت البنين. عندي حاجة وكلفت البنين صوتك.
عندي حاجة وكلفت البنين. عندي حاجة وكلفت البنين.
توجهت هلالة وقرأت الدعاء. توجهت هلالة وقرأت الدعاء توسلتها ويا المدامع والبكاء حلفتها بفاطمة خير النساء حلفتها بفاطمة خير النساء قلبي معصور ويأذن الأنين قلبي معصور ويأذن الأنين عندي
حاجة وكلفت أم البنين عندي حاجة وكلفت أم البنين
قلبي معصور واريد ينشرح من كثر حالي وحس من جرح قلبي معصور واريد ينشرح من كثر حالي وحس من جرح راح احلفها وامشي المنذبح
راح احلفها وامشي المنذبح
عندي حاجة اقضيها يوم
المؤمنين عندي حاجة ويها يا أم البنين عندي حاجة وكلفت أم البنين عندي حاجة وكلفت أم البنين. Can you repeat the first one? عندي حاجة وكلفت أم البنين
وجهت الليلة وقرأت الدعاء توجهت الليلة وقرأت الدعاء توسلتها ويا المدامع والبكاء حلفتها بفاطمة خير النساء حلفتها بفاطمة خير النساء
قلبي معصور ويأذن الأنين قلبي معصور ويأذن الأنين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Can you possibly describe this poem? Do you know? Can you like just the عندي حاجة وكلفت أم البنين?
So like if you have like a wish, you could just like do dua for Baneen and like do dua for Bab al-Hawa'ij.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And inshallah, because Baneen has a very special, as Hajj Hussein was saying, Baneen has a very special place with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the sacrifice that she gave, and therefore Allah gave her a position by being Bab al-Hawa'ij. So that's great. Mullah, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming. Of course, our resident poet and lecturer, Sayhan Jetta and Hussein TV, thank you so much for watching. So inshallah, dear viewers and dear children at home, you've benefited from today's show by giving you an insight into Baneen, who she was, her real name, her position, and why she was called Bab al-Hawa'ij. We look forward to seeing you and we look forward to you joining us in the next episode of Verses of Love, Mini Husaini edition. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahsantum.